Well, good morning, everybody. Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad. In today's video, I want to talk about technology. I think it's a little bit too much for me, and maybe it's time to quit. Maybe it's time to just quit YouTube, watching YouTube. Maybe it's time to just put away the phone and just forget about technology. Just forget about it. I want to talk to you guys today about a couple things. Maybe you can relate, maybe you can't. My audience, due to the analytics, the statistics, that I don't know if it's true or not, somehow a computer system figures out who watches my channel and what age they are. I guess you guys put that somewhere in the computer and it kind of knows that. But everybody's just a little bit older than me that typically watches my content. And the reason why, I think, is because it's retirement age and my videos are about basically retiring in Thailand. We try to have some good, decent content of traveling, but my channel mostly appeals to people a little older than me. Anyway, I come from an era, I was born in 1968. Had BMX bicycles, did stupid things as a kid, ran around on the streets, never was home on time, never used my friend's phone to call my mom to tell him I was on the way. I didn't really use technology when I was a kid. I remember when Atari came out. I don't know, I thought it was stupid, I never really was into board games and stuff like that. Monopoly, checkers. I was more into being outside. I was more into riding bicycles. We would get pellet guns and go walk down the little creeks in the woods till it became dark and we had to figure out how to get home. Just, just terrorizing the forest, We would climb little tiny pine trees all the way up to the top until they bent over, and then we'd grab the next pine tree and we'd see how far we could go down the woods, and we were just all tore up with sap everywhere. We'd fall down, but we'd get back up because we were kids, That's what kids did back then. A little bit different today. I'm sure you guys can relate. Maybe you have kids or grandkids or have friends with kids or see kids on the internet or in the streets or somewhere. It's a little different today. So I remember when Atari came out, I was like, what was that, Pong or some stupid crap? Ding, ding, ding. I thought it was dumb. Waste of time. And I think they had, was it Nintendo or something with the little cartridges, and then they had the little fighting things. And at some point, I did start playing video games, especially when my kids were little. We played PlayStation, and we played Rock Band, and we did all kind of stuff, We had a really good time. I didn't hate it. I never in my life said to myself, I hate technology. I hate the fact that things are evolving. I come from an industry of fixing things. And when you fix things for a living, in the automotive industry, cars change, vehicles change, and you need to upgrade your tools to be able to fix vehicles. So I've always been in the market of looking for things to make my life a little bit easier, especially as a mechanic. As a mechanic, you need to be able to fix stuff. Time is money. It needs to be fixed in a timely manner. And it needs to be fixed correctly, because nobody wants to come back and have it fixed again, and I sure don't want to do it again for free. So you have to make sure you're good at what you do. This video, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, obviously. This channel is about me and my life, evolving, retiring early, trying to get you guys to realize that life is too short. Just enjoy the moment, and a lot of things will come at you, especially here in Thailand, and how I deal with it. Never tell you guys how you should deal with it. I only always show my experience. That's it. At the end of my career, all the things I had done in my life put me in a position where I could start my own business and start making real money. I got contracted through a company called Hunter Engineering Company. And what this company does, it makes automotive equipment. It makes specialty alignment machines, specialty tire changers, tire balancers, brake lathes, just all kinds of stuff. Really, it's specialty stuff that car repair shops need to fix their vehicles properly. And this company held a patent on quite a few things. They had a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, everything has a computer on it. Everything's got a screen. You know, it's pretty much bulletproof. And they even had tire changes where you just set the tire down and it would put everything together, change the tire, and bam, done, you know? All you needed to do is put the specs in there, and then the machine would do all the damn work. A lot of this came about because manufacturers started making specialty wheels, specialty tires, specialty suspension. The old guy with the string, you know, he just couldn't align the car no more. It's not going to happen because everything is independent with each other. So you needed the technology to grow to be able to repair the stuff that these manufacturers were coming out with. All of this was to benefit the customer. Customers, they want better ride conditions, they want smooth, they want everything to be perfect. They want to just sit in, they want to get and open they want the door to open and sit in there, hey, take me to wherever. And that's it, you know. I think that's what people want these days. Me, not so much. I still would like to have, you know, a 69 Chevy Chevelle with a 454, you know. I love old cars. I love old things. But, you know, I do appreciate modern technology, things that make your life a little bit better. What I basically did, I can tell you, was the company had salesmen that would sell the equipment. And then the salespeople would get with us, with me, and we would get out there and we'd set up the equipment. And well, we'd have the equipment shipped to the place, then we'd take it apart, and then we'd put it together, and then we would train the people how to use it. And then we would warranty the stuff for 6 months for free. The company paid me in advance to install the equipment, to train, and to warranty it. So I got a pretty good chunk of money just to set the equipment up and train them. So I was the only person in a very, very wide territory that could work on this stuff. I was the only one who was qualified to work on it, the only one that was able to get parts to fix the thing. So it was pretty closed market. It was a pretty lucrative deal, but it was very stressful. So I had these guys, especially these old timers, you know, you'd go into a Chevy dealership and you install these new tire balancers and brake lathes and all this stuff. And it took a long time to try to train these guys because they just weren't listening. Like, they were not interested at all. Like, they hated it. They hated the fact that the machine that they've used for 25 years is gone, and now they're gonna have to take their time, and they're losing money to fix cars to try to learn something different. And they were really irritated about it. I can tell you that right now. So it took me a long time, almost like a psychiatrist, to try to get these people to understand how to use this and how it would make their life easier and have less comebacks. But, you know, they would do something and I'm busy. I had 385 shops on my list, always busy, and then these guys would break something because they didn't use the machine properly. They weren't listening, or they didn't break it, they were just saying it wouldn't work, and I'd have to go back out there and I'd have to retrain. I would try really hard to just get some smart guy there, shop manager or something, and train him, have him sit through all the training sessions so he could be the one to go back and retrain the guys that didn't want to evolve, basically. I spent a lot of time in my lifetime fixing things for people that just weren't really appreciative to, you know. When a customer would bring your vehicle into the shop, I also own 3 automotive shops too. And when a customer brought his car to me, he wasn't really happy, unless it was an oil change or maintenance or something like that. So when they're inconvenienced, they're just not happy people. So I get the vehicle, I diagnose it, and then I have to play psychiatrist again and try to get their vehicle fixed properly so that they can go on about their life, you know. But, you know, dealing with people that just weren't really happy most of the time is what my life has been about, you know. You know, people are happy when their vehicle are fixed. They're just not happy whenever it costs money, I guess. So I didn't inconvenience you, but I try to fix their problems. Huh? Hang on. All right, I'm gonna have to take a break. Paige has got some kind of issue with the sink I gotta go fix. Hopefully I can remember what I was talking about when I come right back. I'll be right back. I probably won't. Okay, and that's that. I don't know, how did that happen? How did that even get stuck in there? Anyway, you know, my life has always been fixing things, obviously. Being in Thailand's been a little bit difficult for me because there's a lot of things here that are just not well put together. So in Thailand, they can build things really not like they're awesome with concrete. Like making concrete stuff out of concrete is incredible, especially at the temples. And they're pretty good at building stuff, you know, in their own way, like they know. Measuring stuff with a piece of bamboo. You know, not everybody. I have seen better construction, and you know, I've seen better ways of building things here. But it's difficult also for me because I've always had to be a perfectionist. I've always had to be. I can't make a mistake. I'm not allowed to make a mistake because it affects other people. So I've always had to be pretty precise. And I've always had to buy the tools and the equipment and go to school, constantly going to school and training, because you have a lot of things that are different and a lot of things that are evolving. So it's been rough. And coming over here, living with my Thai family, there was a lot of things I needed to be fixed. I shared a video since I've got off the airplane here, so you guys that have been with me for a long time, you can recall some of the things that I've had to go behind my father-in-law's back and fix so I don't cause any problems, because he just doesn't. They're the type of people where they don't fix anything unless it's just not working anymore. They will tape it up until it's no longer usable. So I don't know why. Fix it now or fix it later. It doesn't really matter. It needs to be fixed. You know? So I do my best. My father-in-law also fixes things, so sometimes that's a little confusing to me too on the mindset. But I try not to. Well, I don't. I don't interfere, and I know I always go through my wife and my mother-in-law prior to doing anything here in this house. So I don't do anything without them. Hang on one second, I'm getting a phone call. Oh, Paige was calling me to come down there and fix the... I created this YouTube channel to show life. Wasn't the initial reason why I did it. Initially, it was just for me to have like a catalog and kind of show my friends what was going on, because a lot of my family and my friends were like, well, I can't believe you're getting out of that business to just quit and go travel around in a travel trailer like a gypsy, you know. But my goal in my life was always to figure out a way to get up every morning and do what I want to do and not what everybody else wants to do. The problem is you're never going to satisfy anybody. You know, when you're working, it's different. You have to try to do things that you probably don't want to do, and you're trying to, whatever you do, you're trying to satisfy a customer or a client, or maybe that's the same, or a boss, something like that. You know, and it seems like it's a never-ending battle. You know. And I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. But I created this channel just to kind of show you can do this, you know. And then it became something different later. A lot of other people started getting involved, and it started helping a lot of people. And people actually started following our journey in real life. And that meant a lot to me, and still does. So, you know, I'm still kind of fixing things, you know, with people. I think it's very important to not worry about some of the things that are, so many things going on out there that we can't control, that we just get locked into, and then our life is gone. I've lost a lot of viewership in the last couple years because of all the drama. Everywhere in the world, people are keyed in onto that. And, you know, for whatever reason, they think it's important to know. But for me, in the big picture, in the gigantic picture, when you look at the planet and the space and whatever, our creator and life, that shit is stupid. It doesn't matter. It's just the Nintendo. Ding, bing, bing, bing. It's dumb. It's dumb. But we get so involved in it, and then we get so emotional, and then we got to tell everybody how we feel all the time. Our feelings are this and our feelings are that. And it's just so damn annoying. And that is one problem I have with this YouTube channel. It becomes annoying with some of the people that think so much about stupid stuff, you know, because they're missing the point. And I'm trying my best to prove the point. But it's difficult. It's difficult to train somebody to use technology, and it's difficult for people over the age of 60 to change, you know. But it's not, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt anybody else. It only hurts you, you know. The more you're upset about something or more about it, doesn't matter. I always used to tell my mom here, you can complain all you want. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares here. That's one thing I really like about it. When I first got here, I was like, why? Paige was going nuts. I thought she was going to ship me back to the States. I finally got a teacher that taught me Thai, but we would sit for hours and talk about culture and stuff like that too. So that helped me a tremendous amount when I first got here. And then being on the YouTube channel, I learned about a lot of other cultures, Thai people, a lot of stuff. And then when I started to learn how to speak Thai, it really changed a lot because I was able to have communications with Thai people and really see, because they're very nosy about us. When you can speak a little Thai, they got a million questions, you know. So I also have a million questions. I'm very curious. That's why I fix things for a living. You have to understand how something works before you can fix it. If you don't know how the alternator charges, you're never going to be able to figure out. I mean, you can replace it if somebody says replace this thing, you can do that, but you need to be able to understand what it does and what it affects in order to fix it, to properly diagnose what's going on. You're never going to diagnose life. You're never going to figure out life. But living in Thailand's actually made me stupid. Maybe because I just don't care. And I've been around a lot of people that just don't care. And at this point, what used to aggravate me a lot before, I admire. It's like, can I get a blood transfusion from a Thai person and change? Because they just don't care and they're happy. But if you just step away from all the stuff that is in your mind that you know and how this should be and how that should be and whatever, you envy that. And I was like, God, no, you know, I wish I was just so happy and content with my life, you know. But unfortunately, we need gadgets, we need things, and you know, I think people are not satisfied because they need everybody else to make them satisfied. They need everybody else to make them happy. They're just not happy by themselves, or they wouldn't complain or care. They would just smile and they would move on. People need gadgets, they need toys, they need all these things to satisfy whatever they have in their life to make them happy. A relationship, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, they're always needing them to make them happy every moment. It's like a battle. Thai people are a little bit different. Not all. Not everybody is the same. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say that. But I think if people would just be able to go somewhere by themselves and enjoy the moment by themselves, they would become more happier. When you're constantly trying to please people, I think you're looking for somebody to please you too. Like if you're a waitress and you go to a restaurant, like you really extra demand great service, you know. If you're a mechanic and you fix cars your whole life and you go to get your car repaired, you expect that it's done right, you know. It's human nature. I wish I could get the blood transfusion, but I don't think it would work. I'm struggling with this YouTube channel because I've lost views, mostly because of what's going on. I don't know. Maybe I suck. Maybe they're bored. I don't know. I do know that a lot of the people that used to watch, they don't watch much anymore because they never really were subscribed to the channel. And the system has changed a lot since COVID. A couple different systems that operate the platform. Now it's controlled by AI, artificial intelligence. It's a strange word. Like people, I think, are really offended by that word. But everything that's created on the internet is created by some kind of application. If you're watching something on a digital electric screen and you're not looking out your window, it was created by something. You know, some kind of program, whatever, you know. It was created by something. Not a whole lot of natural stuff anymore, I think. People are just not interested in nature. They're interested in, you know, being entertained, I guess, because they're not happy. So it's either, so I have a pretty good base, I would say, of about, I'm going to call it about 8,000 people. That's a lot of people if you put them in a room. That religiously watch the channel. And man, I really, really appreciate them. And I started a members only channel basically just for them, to talk about some other stuff, to share some content that's not, you know, I don't have to worry about copyright stuff, and I don't have to worry about monetization, because if you don't have your channel monetized now, YouTube is not going to promote your video. The only way you can get around that is if you have sponsors, and then they want a piece of that too. So you get a sponsor, they want some of they don't do it for free. Like nobody does anything for free, other than you can watch this right now for free, basically. Kind of, I mean, nothing's really free, but you know what I mean. So I've had to make some corrections somehow. So I'm like, what is going on? Why won't you promote my channel? You know, so I'm not talking to actually the computer. I'm just thinking in my head, what the hell do I got to do, you know? So I've had to try to evolve a little bit with some fancy screenshots to get more, not really attention from you guys, but attention from the AI. It says, oh, I like this, let's promote it. It looks good. That's crazy, but that's where we're at the current moment. Will it change? I don't think so. I think we're going somewhere else really fast, really fast. I've added some music. And, you know, this whole thing is because trying to make people happy, you know. I can't satisfy the computer. If I put a song on there, the computer doesn't like it because somebody owns the words that are put in that sentence, you know. It's copyright. Copyright, like, what do you mean? Like, it's just a song, but I don't own the song. I don't own the lyrics. I don't own the words. So they kick me out. If somebody's in the video and they don't, if somebody's like, this doesn't happen much, but it has happened, and it's only with foreigners, and I don't understand this. So if you're in public and you don't want to be seen in public, then don't be in public. Because everybody, usually when they're traveling, has a camera, whether they're taking a picture of a view, a selfie, the area that they're at to show their friends. You might be in that video because you're in public. But when they see somebody with a camera, like a video camera, they have a problem with YouTubers. This is only a small portion of people that are really unhappy with themselves. If somebody's coming at you and saying this guy is doing this, or being like pointing at you as you're doing something that they don't like on their content, that's wrong. That's shit right there. Like that's not too many people do that, but maybe they do. I don't know. I don't watch those channels. Maybe they shouldn't either. But I've had a few people ask me, oh, I don't want to be in your video. I'm like, okay, That's fine. It's so easy with AI to make you disappear easily. Okay, no problem. And that's the end of it. And I've had people ask me about why do I do, they just don't like YouTubers. I don't know. I think if they're worried about me minding my own business, I think they should start with themselves first. And this is what I usually tell them, you know, if you don't like my business, mind your own business. You know, basically, I mean, so, you know, sometimes it's difficult, but with the AI, it's easy for me to get rid of these people. It only happens to foreigners. Thai people love to be on camera, you know. I don't know, we always think the worst of everything, I guess. I'm only trying to show a good thing. I try to promote certain places, and if you don't want to be seen in public, then don't be in public. Everybody's got a camera. There's cameras everywhere. Anyway, especially if you're doing something wrong. That's your problem, not mine. Don't do something wrong. So I've had to create some music. I got this program now that'll do a thumbnail, which has been the hardest thing for me to do, is to create a thumbnail that's appealing. I've said this many times, is if you go into a restaurant and you're looking at a menu and you see the pizza looks like crap, you're not going to order it. So the pizza always looks better than what's on the menu, especially the hamburger. You're always disappointed over here with the hamburger. Like, it does not look like that at all, period. But what are you going to do? You're trying to get somebody to order that. You're not going to make it look like shit, you know? So I've come up with a program that's helping me easily make, like so easy. Put in a title, share a picture, it creates this whatever it wants. If I don't like it, I can change it. I can do it again and again and again and again. I got a year subscription, nothing's free. I've had to pay for this stuff. I've had to pay for the music stuff. I have to pay for a lot of the AI stuff. I've had to pay. I've had to take some time to learn how to do it. It's technology, and some people just don't like it. They say, oh, your channel's gone to crap because of this, because I put a 20-second insert of something in my video. But it's okay to have I don't know if you know what B-roll is. It's like when somebody's talking and then they show the background, not the background, but you can hear me talking, but you're looking at a beach or a sunset or a wine glass. It's B-roll. It's stuff that's in the background, which I'm not having in this video today, that keeps you engaged, that keeps you entertained. It's B-roll. But now that I'm using the B-roll as an AI generated, like all of a sudden, that's bad, like horribly bad. It's evolution. What can you do? I think it's not something that I'm going to do all the time, but I think it's cool. I think it's neat, especially if you're a creator of anything or somebody that can fix something and all of a sudden a new gadget comes out that makes your life a lot easier. You think that contractor is not going to hire you because all of a sudden you've got this special nail gun that can put a roof on a building in half the time? Because you don't have a hammer? Probably not. Probably going to be okay. But there are some out there that will complain, nope, you need to be old school, you need to do this, you need to do that, but most likely not. So I try to avoid people like that. I try not to get rude with them. I don't understand sometimes. We're living in a world that's constantly changing, especially technology, the way things are done. But I get it. When you're older, you're set in your ways and you don't have to change. You don't have to like it, and you don't have to complain about it either. You know, if you don't like something, just move along. Be happy with yourself. It's not my job to try to entertain you. You know, I'm doing the best I can, and everybody should always do what makes sense to them in their life. But if you're working for somebody, which I don't, then you need to try to appease that person or the job or whatever you're doing has to be done in a way that they expect you to do it, you know. It's a little weird video today. Talk about myself, talk about this and that. It's not about Thailand. It's just about me and my struggles in Thailand, and my life is what it's been about, fixing things and where I'm at now. I could quit YouTube tomorrow and I wouldn't care. But the problem with me is I've always had so much going on in my life. I need something to do. And this is kind of it's been a really good filler for me to do these videos. gives me an opportunity to meet new people, which I've never really wanted to before. But I like to learn about other cultures, and it's been really fascinating. And it's caused me to make a little bit, like be able to travel a little bit more than I really wanted to, or it was in my budget, you know. It's been really cool, and I really enjoy it. But I could quit tomorrow. I could concentrate on myself, exercise, my wife, just travel a little bit, just do what I initially set out to do, because I didn't initially set out to make YouTube videos. And I could do that, but I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I don't plan on stopping. I just need to figure out what's going on with the YouTube thing. I don't understand why I'm getting so many subscribers at the current moment. I know for many, many years, I used to get over 100 a day for like ever. And then COVID hit, and then they went to just an all computer system because nobody could go into Google, you know. And then they started taking all my subscribers away from me. And it was legitimately subscribers because they would tell me all the time. And I just wouldn't get subscribers. I don't know what happened. How do you go from having 100 a day to like 2 a week? So I just kind of gave up about it. I had talked to Google about it, you know, but they don't really care. And, or they would just make up some stuff, you know, they don't know. But all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of subscribers, but I'm not getting the views. So I don't really know what's going on. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know. I'm just talking to you guys about my problems today and what I think about evolution, you know, technical evolution, and the way people are just so worried so much about what everybody else is doing. And I just think people are just not happy with themselves. And I create this channel to try to get people to think a little bit deeper and just enjoy life. I have a lot of situations here where I'm frustrated, but it always seems to work out in the end. I guess you could say I complain. I analyze a lot of stuff, you know. When I see something, I'm kind of analyzing it, maybe in a sarcastic manner that comes out sounding like a complaint, you know. I don't know, you know, our personalities for the people that are complaining about that are obviously different as they're complaining about my complaining, you know. So I love my life here in Thailand. I love this channel. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Like, most of you don't even comment on the channel. And when you see something that you dislike, you comment, and I do appreciate that. I really do. I had a guy make a comment saying I made like a 20-second insert in the video. He's like, my channel has gone downhill, and I thought my channel was more reality, but no, it's not. From a 20-second insert. So I don't know. We've evolved into something above PlayStation at the current moment, and I don't think it's going to get any better for these guys that don't like it. I have to try to evolve as a content creator. I've had to evolve my entire life and my career to try to satisfy customers, satisfy fixing the vehicle. You can't fix stuff with a crescent wrench and a hammer and a screwdriver. It's not going to do it. You need diagnostic equipment. You need all these programs to make the thing work. Yeah, and YouTube has been that way too. So hopefully, I'm sure the two people that got, or not two, probably many, because I got like a whole lot of thumbs down. They probably don't watch the channel no more. They're watching somebody else because I made an insert. So hopefully the other ones, you guys can understand. This is kind of a learning thing for me. I'm trying to get better at the music. I've always had some music. I'm bored with the driving stuff, so I want to make the video entertaining for you to watch. You know, I think I've tried to at least do that, and I think it really for 95% of you guys really like that, but I don't know. I changed so much stuff in this channel. I'm wearing this because I just got finished working out. I'm trying to get healthy. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me blah, blah, blah this morning about me, my life, my channel, my opinions, and just a small little, this isn't what my channel is going to change into this type of content forever, but it is a channel about my life. And I'm sharing it with you, and I just shared these few moments with you. I hope you guys continue to watch no time to be sad, which means I don't have times for things that really don't matter in my life. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Going to immigration to get my visa extended at the mercy of the immigration officer. Maybe we'll be going back to America tomorrow. Just kidding. I'm sure it'll work out. We'll see you then. Bye.